This is Mr. Beast's Lunchly, and this is a giant Lunchly that I just made. Today, I'm making giant versions of YouTuber products, starting with this absolute beast. You know, like Mr. Beast. I'm also making a giant bottle of Prime and a giant Feastables. Here's all the supplies. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
And in case any of you are wondering, hey Noah, what even is the plan? Well, it's actually quite simple. I'm basically going to be taking a bunch of little cardboard boxes, turning them into one, then spray painting them to look like a Lunchly, which I will then create the insides of the Lunchly by gluing totes and plexiglass together. Not to mention I also have to make a giant Prime bottle, but we'll worry about that later. I've got a plan.
Neither sides line up. What? How? What?
What I think is going to be cool about this Lunchly, though, is not only is it just going to be the outside, but I'm actually going to make an entire inside, a giant Prime bottle, like, all a bunch of crazy stuff.
This does not line up with this. That needs to be even.
Yeah, so I wasn't feeling super confident about this right now, but this definitely helped.
Look at this. I don't know how I so perfectly cut this out, but that is so satisfying. So after spending an hour building all this, throwing it away. I don't need it anymore. I already had a box that's like way better. All right, time to paint this bad boy.
But yeah, I do not know how to use spray paint. Like, I've never figured it out. I just thought I'd put the mats down, try to, I don't know, not get the ground all dirty.
Pretty sure you gotta shake this up pretty good. From the picture of my phone, I'm just gonna do the blue right there. Whew. Wow, that actually looks really nice.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's really fun to spray paint. I just do have one complaint, it's really uncomfortable in the hands.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. Looks a little weird, but maybe that'll work. Hey, for never spray painting before, this ain't that bad.
But oh man, these spray painting time lapses are so satisfying.
So far the side is looking much better.
But what would be even more satisfying is if this actually ends up looking good, because I still have no clue if it will or not.
That's not good.
Yeah, so I ended up running out of spray paint, but I had this genius idea.
I'm just gonna tape this off, spray that red. It'll be like a label area or something. I could like put the QR code. Genius.
So I then went ahead and duct taped it off and spray painted it.
Those colors though, the vibrancy there, that looks nice.
I then patched up this little hole in the box using a piece of tape. And I was just cleaning it up when this happened.
There's no way I just did that. I seriously just painted the red stuff on the blue stuff.
I then forgot that I was out of blue spray paint, so I couldn't fix it.
Oh, that just saved my life.
But now, it was time to peel off the tape, and I still had one pretty big concern.
I really hope this peels and doesn't take the paint with it. Okay, I really hope this looks okay.
Here, I'll speed it up a little bit, but I was still very nervous about this.
That turned out pretty nice. All right, this is actually looking not too bad.
I then went ahead and painted the rest of the box, which was actually going pretty smoothly.
This is very important because if this line is not straight, that would be bad because this is the front. We will have to see. Top line's good. Just hope this doesn't look too bad. Oh, yeah, that got messed up.
Yeah, it looked pretty terrible, but luckily, I had a plan.
Well, I guess I just gotta make this thicker because that looks so bad.
So I then re-spray painted it in hopes to make it look a little bit better.
See how that looks. But we can check the back. It probably won't look great either.
The back actually ended up looking amazing.
That's pretty good.
And the other side wasn't terrible either, it wasn't the best.
Ooh, that one looks pretty nice. That looks really bad.
But now was time for the front, which was gonna be really bad if it doesn't turn out good.
Please just look okay and not messed up. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, I'm really glad I did that.
But when I started painting the front, I ran into a problem.
Oh no, that's dripping.
Yeah, I actually ended up having to just hold my hand there for like the next 10 minutes, but it ended up working out.
Look at this ball. There's a lot of tape.
I then quickly finished painting the bottom, which was actually looking really nice.
Oh my goodness, look at my legs. What even happened? Look at how awful my legs are.
But after turning myself into a Smurf, I eventually took the tape off the bottom.
Oh, that's a nice line. Okay. All right, that's pretty dry. Wow, okay, that took a lot longer and a lot more work than I thought it would, but looks pretty nice.
I then began sketching the whole thing, but it's kind of funny because of the lighting you can't actually see what I'm drawing, but it actually ended up taking half an hour. Alright, after a lot of drawing, don't know how well you can see that, but it does say Lunchly. Should look pretty sick when it's done, so. And yes, it does end up looking pretty sick at the end. You will see. Welcome to the garage. It's dark out now, but I'm finally gonna write the Lunchly on here. I was very nervous for this part, so I actually ended up using tape to try to get the letters perfect, but it took way too long and it wasn't even looking that good, so I just winged it. And honestly, it turned out pretty good. I mean, it was a little wonky, but I think it was pretty good. The hardest part, though, was I was standing upside down under the box, so I couldn't really tell what I was drawing, but this is what I thought. That's not too bad. Then, of course, while finishing it up with the black, my camera died, like it always does. So, it's just black here. But then the next day, we went driving around a lot to get to a bunch of different stores to get all the supplies. I'm gonna use this to draw, like, the designs and stuff. So we got all the colors for all the designs. This part was kind of funny because he was opening up the picture of Prime and Feastables, and I had no idea if he actually knew what that was. Awesome. Got the paper. Wally World. We then got a bunch more supplies at Walmart. We are now looking for a pizza. And found the perfect Chuck E. Cheese pizza. But I still needed a Lunchly, so we went to another store to look for it. Oh yeah, maybe around here somewhere. And what happened was interesting. We split up to look for it, and my little brother found it, and we went over, and the guy said that they were actually out.
Unfortunately, they're out of the pizza ones.
Yeah, we're out of the pizza Lunchlies.
Yeah, they got
the
cracker.
We got the turkey.
I see.
Or the turkey and the cheddar.
So of course, the one thing we needed was not there.
All right, well, thank you, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, the one thing they don't have.
But after going to a different store, we finally found it.
There we go.
But then when we went to buy a piece of plexiglass, we were looking at the options and we noticed the one we needed had no price
I
tag.
guess it is what it is. This is what we need.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. And it'll fit in the car, so that'll work.
So I was super curious / nervous to see how much it actually was, and it was, yeah, $176. Yeah, my expression says it all. But we brought it back to the car and everything else.
That was an expensive piece of plexiglass.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that was a lot of shopping, but look at all this stuff.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of what everything is for, but basically, I got everything I needed.
So the plan for in here is pretty simple. Here, I'll show you really quick, actually. So this is the actual Lunchly. So this thing right here. See how we got the pizza in there? We're gonna do the exact same thing as this, but humongous. Like, it's gonna be awesome. Same with the Prime.
So I then got right to work cleaning everything up, then started adding more details to the Lunchly, but then realized my red did not look like red at all, so I had to spray paint it. Then I started working on some more details up in the corner and polishing up the red a little bit. Then I used the Chuck E. Cheese pizza and cut it out to make the little pizza in the corner. And then started working more on the design, adding like little circle thingies that were on the other thing, I guess, and gluing down the pizza. Then writing all these little words you can't even see. You will later, but you can't right now because of the sunlight.
I'm surprised this is actually looking really good. Look, like I've only put a small amount of detail and it's already starting to look like the real thing.
So I then went ahead and added more details, which in my opinion made it look so much better. And then wrote more small words that you can't even see because of the sunlight. And then started working on the side. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Done. Now I just gotta do the back and the other side. And if I'm being honest, this side probably took the longest. I had to individually look at each words on the mini Lunchly and then write them out on the big Lunchly. And, not to mention, my permanent marker ran out of ink, so I had to dip it into like a thing I made that was filled with other ink from a different marker. Okay, finally done. That looks great. That looks amazing, but now we've got to do all this. Yeah, and this part took even longer. I had to write all the words again, and not to mention I had to keep dipping my Sharpie into that little thing you see there. It's an empty Sharpie box. Finally done. Okay. All right, so this side looks great. This side looks great. Now it's time for the back. The back was actually very fun to do. The white parts were actually super easy, and I wrote the words pretty good, I think. I don't know. Kinda. They look good. I think they look good. And and that's all that matters. I'm just kidding, it doesn't. But, anyways, I kept working on it, drew the QR code.
I'm gonna try to scan this with my phone and see if anything happens. Nothing. That side's done though, finally, the backs. Now we must move on to the insides, which is actually gonna be a lot harder. I think first things first though, gonna make the Prime bottle.
So I started out with cutting out the Prime logo that I printed off, and it was going pretty good. It takes a while though. And then finally, once I'm done here, if I'm ever done, come on.
There we go.
I then finally cut out the Mr. Beast Feastables logo. Then me and my dad tried to plan out how to do the Prime bottle, so we then got ready and taped it together.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm not gonna lie guys, I wasn't sure if the tape was actually gonna end up holding it, but it actually seemed to do a pretty good job. So we then took it outside and started spray painting it when we realized something.
If you look at that bottle, it's like
Right,
just to
that's
the
true.
top cap that's clear.
Yes, we could do it to like right around there. I can go grab the tape.
Yeah, basically the original Prime bottle had a little bit different of a design than we thought, so we retaped it and respray painted
Was
it.
that dry good?
I see how you do it now. What I would do is I just hold it the whole time.
Yeah, and that's exactly the reason that I ran out of spray paint so fast. But we kept going and it looked pretty good after a couple coats, and I even gave it a try.
That looks good, yeah.
That's good.
Ooh, the line looks really good. That's smart.
So after letting it dry out a bit, we then tried to figure out where we wanted the logo to be, took it off, and painted some glue on it.
This way.
The E was like, yeah, pretty much right at the bottom.
Right here.
I remember being very nervous for this part, because if we mess it up, there's really no going back. But while letting it dry, we decided to paint our Feastables.
Yeah, spray paint that blue, and then we gotta spray paint the bar red. Yeah, that's like the perfect color.
So we then gave it another coat, and then painted the chocolate bar red, and trying to not let it melt. We carried it all the way back to the fan to try to, like, dry it off, and then put it in the freezer.
So that's good. It's pretty close. Now I just gotta write all the letters on here.
So yeah, I was actually super happy with how the Prime ended up looking, and after these letters, it looked way better.
With that, we are finally done with our first product. And the coolest part is, we're actually gonna fill it up with liquid. Like, we're gonna make some Prime drink and put it in here.
I then started the next day by painting the straw, and then got to work with my dad on laying out the design for the inside of the Lunchley. We then cut it, brought it out to the back of the truck, and this part was scary. Somehow it worked, and then we started cutting the next piece, and somehow it did not work. So then we started cutting it more, and then, yeah, it finally worked. We then started to lay it out, but realized we needed to cut one more big piece out. And then my dad rounded all the edges off to make it look nice. We then finally laid it out and traced around it. And actually, when I say we, I mean my dad, because he actually knows how to do this stuff. And then he started cutting out all the little holes, which, in my opinion, this is the most satisfying time lapse of the whole video. I mean, come on, it looks so good. It looks so good. Anyways, we kept cutting. And then found this weird, like, thing. It was always at the edge of it, and so my dad then sanded the rest of it off, and it was looking pretty good. We then tried to glue it with super glue and realized it did not work. So we went to the store and grabbed some better stuff. And finally, when we put that down, it worked so much better. I then realized that the straw from yesterday was dry and took it apart. Pretty cool. And then we realized that the garage was really dirty, so we cleaned it up after everything we've done.
Alright, this is looking very awesome. I just have to wait, like, overnight, then it should be dry. But man, guys, this is going so well. I thought some of this wouldn't work, but it's just all working. This is the final thing I need to do. This blue part is just a bit too big, so I just need to fix it. Now, the only other problem is this is going to be a tiny bit too big. So instead of it being Feastables with an S, it's going to be a Feastable, because there's one.
Huge thanks to my dad, because that was actually his idea. And then I wrote the white on it, and it was looking pretty good, in my opinion.
There, you can hardly even tell. It's nice.
So then I went ahead and glued it down, and the covering was done. Now we just gotta let this and the insides of the Lunchly dries.
So now that all this is finally done, it's time to put the food in. First things first, I think I'm gonna fill up the prime. Right here, I've got 4 lemonade packets, and it says you can fill up 5 cups per packet, so this is going to be plenty for this. Just gonna have to fill this up 1 cup at a time.
And yeah, this ended up taking a little while, and if you're wondering why I didn't just use like a hose, it's because where we live, it's not safe.
That is heavy. All right, this thing is full. Just really hope. Oh, no leaks. First one. That is crazy.
See all that stuff in the middle circling around? That's crazy.
And the final one. Now, just gotta mix it up. Oh yeah, that is mixed up. It smells so strong in there. Yeah, it smells like lemon. First up, got the, oops. First we have pizza crust, just like the original one. I then have pepperonis. Giant bag of cheese. 3 big bags of pizza sauce. And the final piece, this giant chocolate bar.
So finally, I've wrapped it up and used tape to seal it off.
That is now done. So now, with everything out of its case, this is looking awesome, just like the real thing.
Then, me and my dad worked on the top to make it look just like the real thing, and we were done.
All right, after like a month of work, I can't believe it. It's all in here, it's done, and now it's just time to open it up. All right, here we go. Here it is. And then of course the prime, there we go. Just like the real thing. Now, gotta open this bad boy up. And look at that, we got everything. First things first, we got a Feastables bar, just like the real thing. This actually hurts to open because I spent so long making this, but. There's our giant Feastables. That's still good. Then we got our pizza, got the sauce. There we go, beautiful. Cheese. There we go. Tastes like cheese. Then we got the pepperonis. That was good. And we're done. I'm gonna take a bite of this, but then I'm also going to try to bake it and see if it turns into an actual pizza. I also put the mini Lunchly pizza in there too to see. Is it any better? All right, let's give it a bite. Wow, pretty good. I mostly just ate the crust there, but that was actually pretty good. I'm curious how it'll be when I bake it. Then of course we have the prime bottle to finish it off. I am very thirsty. Got my giant straw. Give this a taste. Tastes like lemonade. It's a little less sugary than I would have liked, but it's still pretty good. Sorry, it's just too good. Now it's time to go bake the pizza. I don't actually know if you're supposed to bake Lunchly pizzas, so we'll see. This is the best part, not gonna lie. Going in. Tried this before in my cookie video, but time lapses with an oven do not work great. All right, I've waited like 20 minutes. Oh, it's so hot. This one looks pretty good, but I think this one actually looks a little bit tastier. All right, got the mini Lunchly pizza and the mega Lunchly pizza. Just gotta cut these now. I will select the finest piece, like this one, probably this one. So let's see who's better, me or Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast first. That's actually really good. And now mine. Wow, that was pretty good too. Way too much sauce, way too much sauce. That was way too much sauce. I think I'm gonna have to give the winner to Mr. Beast. But after working on all this so very hard, this literally took like a month. I gotta throw it all away now. One last sip. One last bite.
And yeah, this was honestly the saddest part of the video. No, I mean, not me missing the trick shots. That was pretty sad, but it was more just all the work I put into it.
Why am I so bad? Hey, there we go.
But either way, I didn't really have a use for any of this stuff, so I just had to throw it all away.
Honestly, guys, I'm sad. I worked really hard on this. Goodbye, giant Feastables bar. I'll miss you. Goodbye, container that I worked so hard on. Goodbye, Lunchly. Goodbye, prime bottle. This one hurts a lot. I love this one, but if you guys didn't know, I don't live here, so I can't bring this back on an airplane. And of course, finally, goodbye, Giant Lunchly. Well, this has been a very fun video, and it would cheer me up if you would subscribe, please. If you made it this far, I mean, come on, it's free. If not, I get it. I don't subscribe to people sometimes, but thanks for watching. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.